Hi, this is Kathy Goodwin, and today we are going to talk about tip number 3 in our midlife career strategy series, information versus advice. Our friends, family, and colleagues telling you, hey, do this or else. Here's what I did, even if they did it 20 years ago. My wife's cousin was, we won't go there. You'll never be, that's usually a dire prediction that you'll never reach your dream because they never did. Why aren't you? This is one of my favorites. So many of my clients call me and say, I know we're going to work on my career change, but my friend or my relative just asked me, hey, you've been getting ready to change careers. It's been 2 weeks. How come you're not in your new career? Get this all the time. What you're getting is advice. And these people are very nice, but they have an agenda. They want you to stay the same. They love you the way you are. You can get more information about this in one of my favorite career books, Working Identity by Herminia Ibarra. I have the link there through my Amazon account. This book really communicates why it's important to get out of your comfort zone because the people who are closest to you really aren't going to help you the most. What you need to do is be with new people, people you've never met before, as you go through your career change and even a job search process. Information from networking events makes a lot of sense because at a networking event you meet people who are targeted, people who are in a position to know about your field. They can say things about what they have experienced firsthand. The guy next to you at a bar can be a great source of information, or someone you're sitting next to you on a plane if they happen to be in a field or have firsthand experience in a field or a company that you're interested in. People you meet at parties. When it comes to Christmas parties, a lot of people make really good connections, but not colleagues. I advise all my clients not to discuss their job search or their career change with anyone at work or anyone who has connections to their current place of employment. It's way too dangerous, not worth it. Here are some examples of what I mean by information. The last 3 people we hired had journalism degrees. People in my field have to travel a lot. People who graduated from that school have trouble getting certified to practice. Okay, what do you notice about these 3 statements? They're facts. If someone who made those statements was knowledgeable, had firsthand experience, was in that field, then you're getting some very useful, helpful information. Of course, information can be wrong, so you want to triangulate and test. Just as a surveyor triangulates a location with 3 positions, and I think satellites do the same thing, they come up with a position by looking at 3 points, you need to triangulate your information from at least 3 and more likely 6 to 10 pieces of information from different people. If you want advice, that's a different story. Go to the pros. Of course, I'm a little biased. I recommend you go to career coaches and consultants because these people talk to career changers all day long. I know, for instance, after being in the field, I can talk to someone and get a really good sense of whether they're heading for a detour, whether they're in a good position to change, whether they're likely to make a change because of some of the things they're doing, maybe even have some suggestions for directions they might pursue. Lawyers, accountants, and financial advisors and therapists can also be extremely good sources of advice. For example, let's say you're considering a career where you'll have to take a big pay cut. A financial advisor will look at your assets and your liabilities, your life situation, and make recommendations about how you can achieve this goal with the situation you're in, with the assets you have, and maybe come up with some creative suggestions. If you're so depressed that you can't do anything, I mean, I've talked to people who are like this. Maybe you've been through a divorce and you hate your career, but you also just got out of a bad relationship. Then it's time to call a therapist. It's a waste of time and money to work with a career consultant if you're dealing with anxiety, depression, and other issues that are, everyone has from time to time. Why get advice from the pros? Well, first of all, we have no agenda. Ideally, if someone has an agenda, run, do not walk away from them. What we do is bring experience, sometimes our own, but more often experience of dealing with people like you. It's sort of the difference between being a player and being a coach. A coach, I mean, we think of the coaches like Pat Summitt. I'm a big WNBA fan. Pat Summitt, Gina Auriemma, they have coached so many people. They can tell immediately how someone is working out, whether they're likely to succeed in their programs, and some just different pieces of information, maybe what kinds of activities they ought to be pursuing to be better players. That comes with experience. A pro probably won't give you a bunch of advice. In fact, you probably won't get a bunch of stuff right away. What you get is a blueprint for action and guidelines for your own decision making based on your own information gathering, your own intuition, and other considerations. So the golden rule of career change, to sum up, is what I tell my clients. I write this in just about all my materials. Pay for advice because you want objectivity and you want someone who has some experience and expertise, but information is free. When you're getting information, when you're talking to potential coworkers, when you're talking to people you meet informally, what they're giving you is information, and obviously you're not going to pay for that, except maybe you'll buy somebody a lunch or a dinner now and then. That's about it. So where can you get more information? And if you'd like to work with me, what can you do? Well, I have a website, midlifecareerstrategy.com, that I invite you to go to. I've got a ton of free material there. I also have an ebook that you can get. You can download and start working on your own. midlifecareerstrategy.com, 21days.html. That's where a lot of this material came from. Finally, if you'd really like to get intense, I offer a career session approach to career consulting. Rather than lock into months and months of 3 times a month or every week, what we do is have significantly long sessions, 60 to 90 minutes, where we really go into everything. I read material before the call and we have follow-up. So a lot of times just one session gives you enough to work on for a month or two, and maybe that's all you need. So I'd like to thank you for joining me today, and I hope to see you on a future video, a future call, and who knows, maybe we'll get together and talk about your career. Thanks again. Have a wonderful day.